Good morning. I apologize for yesterday. I hurt myself over the weekend, and I've got a really messed up left leg. Not cut, no stitches, nothing's broke. It just needs a lot of TLC. Good morning, Carly with an I. Good morning, Stacy. There's our girl Chrissy, True Crime Beat. Plus, I decided to be a little sad yesterday. You know how Robin used to say, I'm a little bit sad. Well, I was a little bit sad yesterday because I got a jacked up leg and it was the 25th anniversary of my mom passing away. But I have been fired up about this bullshit going on. Bullshit. Hold on. Melanie, I had a wood pallet follow me the other day. What the hell were you doing, girl? Girl, I need to hear this story. I need to hear all about it. Woo. But I have a lot of questions from what happened over the weekend. Does nobody in LA have a JOB? Do they have that kind of vacation time where they can do all kinds of crazy bullshit and order pallets of bricks and baseball bats and everything to the point that the federal government has to call in the National Guard and the Marines to help out the police? I wonder what the people that are complaining online, the keyboard, the do do do, beep beep beep, blah blah blah. What do they want? Do they want the whole city to burn down? Police to get killed? That's what I'm talking about, Sparrow. Have you seen the videos of the black truck dropping off masks to protesters in broad daylight? 4 different trucks, gas masks, and more Molotov cocktails. Look at that. Look at that. These are Soros thugs. We've seen it before. We have seen it before. And as far as our military, who have been told to stand down, they are there to support the police. They're making it so obvious that the rest of us are just sitting there going, is this not obvious? And yes, it is the police's job to protect the city. But when they have no one to back them up, what do? Is it the store owner's faults that someone's in a mood and they have to use their insurance? People getting looted, robbed. Did you all see this yesterday? Live on freaking TV? Look at this. Does that look peaceful? That dude, when he couldn't get in the window, he jumped up on top of the car with a skateboard to beat through the windshield. They're taking hammers to beat up concrete and throw it over overpasses. What the hell, people? What the hell? But hey, that's okay, because as friends, we can talk about it. Let's take a second and say hi to Mike, because today is Wednesday. And if Mike was here with that big old camel tongue, he'd be licking my wounds. Nothing else, just my wounds.
Oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
It is hump day. And what do we wear or just think about on Wednesdays? We sit with each other. We are the bestest of friends.
It's adorable. So fetch. What is fetch? Oh, it's like slang from England. So if you're from Africa, why are you white? Oh my God, Karen, you can't just ask people why they're white. Could you give us some privacy for like 1 second? Yeah, sure. Okay, you should just know that we don't do this a lot, so this is like a really huge deal. We want to invite you to have lunch with us every day for the rest of the week. Oh, it's okay. Coolness. So we'll see you tomorrow. On Wednesdays, we wear pink. Oh my God.
Love you all so much. Wasn't expecting this to be a big show because there's so many people that hate our current administration. I'm not one of them because, well, my son's in the military and, well, he got a pay raise and he's got more organization. He doesn't feel like he's left out on a limb anymore. A lot of things are happening for our military. Let me start with what really pisses me off, besides what they're doing in Los Angeles. First off, let's just tell everyone hello. Let me collect my thoughts. Good morning, good morning, good morning. My granny immigrated from Germany about a century ago. Let me tell you what, the current administration wouldn't be worried about her. You know why? Because she did what she was supposed to do. My daughter-in-law, her grandparents immigrated from Lebanon. Do you think her grandparents are shitting bricks over the current administration? Do you think they were offered $1,000 to self-deport or to get legal status? No, because they did it right the first time. This is my daughter-in-law, Jessa. She immigrated from the Philippines. Absolutely love these people. Love them. Do you think she's worried? Nope. Not at all. I'm waiting on my friend to come in. He immigrated from India. And he can tell you all about what you have to do to become a citizen of the United States. And you're going to be shocked. It's not as hard as they make it out on the news. Now we see this floating around in different Craigslist groups. I don't frequent Craigslist. Looking for the toughest badasses in the city, Los Angeles. This same ad is in Houston. They tried it in Dallas. They tried it in Austin. It's floating around in Atlanta. Okay. They're not going to really try it in Tulsa because our governor, he's ready to go. To be quite honest, I think old Governor Stitt is hoping some shit goes down here. But you get paid every week no matter what, is what they say. Half of these fucking people that are causing havoc are just paid protesters. Now the rest, I can't speak for. So we're going to go back and forth with this live footage. Now, you know our good friend JPL. I spoke to her yesterday at length. She's from California and she is disgusted by what's going on. And so when people point the finger at Orange Man bad, They didn't point the finger at Barack Obama when shit went down in Ferguson, Missouri, and he told the governor of Missouri, deploy your National Guard or I will. Okay? So yeah, I'm getting a little political today. But remember, we talk about crime on here, and there's a lot of crimes going on. Exactly, Melanie. The Orange Men are Syracuse University. Orange Man told people before he became president what he was going to do. This is not new news. And offered money to get your shit straight or self-deport. You're going to be very surprised when you find out where all this came from. And I feel so bad for the Los Angeles Police Department because they are outgunned, they are outweaponized, and they are outnumbered. And without the National Guard and the Marines from Camp Pendleton, they are sitting ducks. Could you imagine how many of them are injured? I know Maxine Waters like, well, none of the police officers have been killed. Doesn't matter. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that are injured. You need all you can get in Los Angeles. Okay, let me show you a peaceful protest. Look what these nerds in Tulsa, Oklahoma are doing. This was on our news this morning. Don't really want to bore you with it because they're just standing outside City Hall thinking they're important. Okay? You've always got one or two.
Protesting is also a personal motivation for 25-year Navy veteran Don Murray.
The U.S. military hasn't always been on the side of righteousness. I mean, ask the Cherokee tribe about that. Ask the Creeks about that.
The Stillwater.
No one's talking about the Indians. No one's talking about the Indians.
A resident tells me there's a specific message he's protesting with.
We want the U.S. military to be on the side of promoting and defending democracy.
They are. They have an oath. They have an oath. I was there when my son took the oath. That is to defend this country, foreign and domestic. Okay? All right, so you saw what those nerds in Tulsa are doing. Trust me, they're not throwing out Molotov cocktails or anything. They're just trying to act like they're damn important. Okay, so you see the difference between what they're doing, what they're carrying, the riot gear, the gas masks, the brand new flags for Mexico. Okay, then you see the nerds in Tulsa standing there with something that looks like it's got freaking Sharpie and puff paint on it. Just standing there in front of City Hall, moving away so people can get in and out of work. All right, so I'm going to stop that. We're going to come back to it. Like I said, we're going to go back and forth. This is where our borders are. I know everyone keeps going, orange man, orange man, orange man, orange man. He's only part of it, okay? Tom Homan is the one that made this call. And then he got our Secretary of Defense involved.
Where it seems like everybody is just about what makes things worse, okay? What is the reality of ICE? What is the reality of the criticisms? What does this situation mean to what's going to happen next? I want to bring in the man that President Trump has designated to do the job. White House border czar Tom Homan. Tom, I know they're running you ragged, and I appreciate you taking the opportunity. Thank you.
Penguin and Powell said if U.S. citizens break the law, they can't take their kids to jail with them. Good. They shouldn't. Who wants kids involved in that? So why do we call it family separation when illegals get busted? I think they all go together. Why would you put your child in a situation like that? Would you take your child to rob a bank? Would you take your child with you if you're coming back from a bar drunk? Why would you put a child in that situation in the first place? Why would you? So he explains what happened. This wasn't even a damn ICE raid. They had a criminal warrant for a company in LA that was funding money to a cartel.
Yeah, look, I've been listening to your last two segments. You got a pretty good show going, so very interesting. I'm glad I got in here early.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. I appreciate you finally watched the damn show. So let me ask you this: let's deal with the politics quick, so we can get to the policy. Governor Newsom, instead of controlling the streets, is trying to control the narrative here in a way by saying they're going to come arrest me. They're going to come take me. That's what's going to happen. What would that be about? Is that even something that you would?
Why is Newsom being so soap opera? I don't understand. I don't live there, but when I talked to JPL yesterday, she calls him Gruesome Newsom because she can't stand him. Neither her or her husband, and they live in Sacramento. And they're just like, why would he not support the police? Why did he not have hydrants working? Are they not supposed to keep their citizens safe? This is crazy, and we'll never have a dictatorship. Even when Orange Man signs an executive order, Congress can kick it back and say, no, we're not doing that. Please watch what your media spoon feeds you. Please watch. Now, what Tom explains here is super important. Super important.
Be considered.
No, this has been blown so far out of proportion, Chris. So I was interviewed by an NBC reporter, and we were talking about the protesters. And I said, look, people have the right to protest. They got their First Amendment rights, and I salute them. But they can't cross that line. They can't impede ICE officers. They can't put their hands on them. They can't throw Molotov cocktails. They can't damage government property. They can't cross that line, because when you cross that line, it's criminal. And when you cross the line, we won't seek prosecution. Then the reporter asked me, well, how about Karen and the Mayor Bass and Governor Newsom? Are they possibly can be indicted? I said, look, if they cross that line, they commit a crime, of course they can be. Anybody can be. No one's above the law. There's no threat to arrest Governor Newsom, but the statement was made, just like anybody else. If he crosses that line of impeding ICE enforcement efforts, if he knowingly harbored, conceals an alien, that's a crime. We would ask AG, the Attorney General, to seek prosecution. It wasn't a threat. But my words were taken out of context, but it is what it is. I stand by what I said. No one's above the law. I've heard that for 4 years. President Trump was above the law. No one's above the law. Either is the governor of California.
What do you make of the criticism beyond the spectacle of you want to remove bad guys? That's fine. But you're going into sensitive places. You're breaking up communities. You're going way beyond getting the bad people, and you're scaring the good people.
You know, it's just a false.
Okay, real quick. Here's a little giggle for you. Actually, I'm going to try to call my friend real quick to see if he's coming up. He said he would. He was in bed. He lives in Houston. Give me a second. We are a democracy, but we're based on the Constitution. Hang on. Answer your goddamn phone. Just give me a second.
Please leave your message for...
Hey, Kadar, it's me. It's Brooks. Come up. I'm going to put the link down in chat. I need you to come up and explain to everyone, mansplain it in your Indian accent, what you think about what's going on with this. You already said you would. Anyway, call me back in a second. All right, so let's see if he gets his ass out of bed here in a second.
So, like, what started the protests in LA? I was there. I went to LA Wednesday night to kick off an operation, a surge operation. And the first place we went to, we served 3 criminal search warrants out of business. And they had a couple locations. What was that investigation? It was an investigation concerning money laundering, tax evasion, and customs fraud. We got a company that brought in over $87 million of goods to the United States, underdeclared, and they failed to pay $17 million in tariff taxes. And as a part of a bigger overarching investigation, how some of this money on these companies is being funneled to Mexico and Colombia to fund cartel activity. So we served criminal arrest warrants. And when we went in to arrest them, we arrested 40 illegal aliens that worked for this company. And the same day, we had teams out in the street. We arrested a Vietnamese national that murdered 2 young teenagers at a graduation party. We arrested several child sexual predators. We arrested someone.
So are they not supposed to do that? Are they not supposed to do that? When they serve 3 criminal warrants, are they not supposed to do that? Now remember, 41 people were put under arrest. Some will be deported. They found out that this company had people working for pennies on the dollar. That's not what democracy is about. That's not what our republic is about. Actually, I'm just going to put it simply so we're not arguing about adjectives. It's not what our country is about. It's not what civilized society is about. Okay? Whatever country. Whatever country. Thank you for explaining it. DT, the United States system of operational government is a democracy. United States of America as a country is a constitutional republic, meaning each state can do their own thing. But when they don't, we step in. Correct? Well, I say we. I'm not part of the we. Forget it. So are they supposed to not do this? Are they supposed to not arrest child sex predators? Are they not supposed to do something about money being funneled to a cartel? Listen to him again. This is how this whole thing started.
So we served criminal arrest warrants, and when we went in to arrest them, we arrested 40 illegal aliens that worked for this company. And the same day, we had teams out in the street. We arrested a Vietnamese national that murdered 2 young teenagers at a graduation party. We arrested several child sexual predators. We arrested someone that was convicted of rape. We arrested someone that was domestic violence 3 times over again. We arrested an illegal alien who was convicted of unlawful penetration of a foreign object, which I didn't even dig into that case. But we took a lot of bad people off the street that day. But when the protesters came, they're thinking, okay, this is another enforcement operation. They didn't ask the details of the operation. We tried to put the information.
Woo! What a treat. Penguin, I haven't talked to you in about 2-3 years. Girl, what are you doing? Unmute yourself. I'm so happy.
Had a baby, got fat.
Oh, I'm fat.
It's good to hear from you.
Me too. I love you so much.
I just wanted to say that this whole thing really, they love to tell what I call as half-truths with a lot that you're talking about in the media. First of all, I hate when they say it's not a crime to cross over illegally. It is a crime. It's on the books. It absolutely is. Them saying, oh, well, it's not a crime. That's ridiculous. That's not true. Number 2, you're going to wave around the Mexican flag because you're protesting being deported by waving a flag in a country that you're fleeing. It just doesn't make sense. And for the people that complain about family separation, you don't have the right to take your child to jail when you break the law. So I don't know why they think that they're entitled to have different laws than regular U.S. citizens. That's crazy to me. And the same people that complain about family separation, there are 300,000 missing migrant children that we just lost. We have no idea where they are. Their sponsors were places like Amazon. And when you have open border policy, you make a rise in sex trafficking and child trafficking. And it's not good for the migrants either, because then they're treated like slaves. You get companies that are coming, using them, abusing them in a lot of instances. It just doesn't make sense anywhere around it.
It's not healthy for anyone, but they pack these people into these sanctuary cities in order to sway a vote. Whichever way the vote goes, I don't know. All right. So first off, more important, how's your baby? Did you have a boy or a girl?
It's another boy. I got another boy.
Woo, boy, mama, tell me about it. Now,
I know.
How would you feel if your sons join the military and next thing you know, instead of being deployed overseas, they're having to stand back in the streets of Los Angeles, California, cleaning up bullshit that could have been prevented had the Los Angeles Police Department had the backing of their own state?
It's so interesting that you asked me this, because I literally went through something like this during the Freddie Gray riots when my husband My husband's military. He's retired now, but he was there. He was part of the people that got deployed. The military can use force in the state of emergency. So if you are posing a threat, like these politicians aren't doing these protesters any good or these young people any good by making them think that, oh, it's okay to throw rocks and we're not going to come. Like there's going to be a consequence when the military does their 3 a.m. raids on their homes, and they're always going to do it at night. You'll see. It won't be as spirited. And with Baltimore, it was so bad that they put a curfew. But as for if my kids were having to go there and be spit on and rocks thrown, I would be absolutely horrified. And I really went through a lot of it. You know, they were spitting at cops during Freddie Gray. Absolutely. It was anarchy. And it definitely should not be encouraged. And this is why I tell people that when you're going to organize a protest, the masks are such a problem because you never know. It also protects the protesters when there's no mask. That way, if there's an agitator that isn't affiliated with what you're protesting, that wouldn't be a problem.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you see what the nerds in Tulsa are doing. They're standing outside eating Ron's hamburgers, holding poster boards. They're not bothering anybody. They're not throwing anything.
No. And there's a difference. I'm all about the right to protest, but when you cross that line and become dangerous, people are going to have the right to defend themselves. And a good example of that, we saw how out of control it went with the Kyle Rittenhouse case. Mm-hmm. You cannot just go and attack people, and the military can use any type of force to defend themselves. You won't see them do it during the day, but Mark, I'm letting everyone know they will do it at night. I feel like I'm watching deja vu when I look at the news on here, because it's like, oh man, just wait. There'll be a curfew. You'll see.
And there's a curfew. There is a curfew now in Los Angeles. After 8 o'clock, you cannot be outside. After 6 a.m., you can come outside. Rebecca Gable, I would love to have you come up because you live there. Sparrow said those face shields are not the cheap kind either. So who paid for all that just to toss them like candy into the crowd? We're going to get to that. And Rebecca Gable, thank you so much for supporting this channel. And my birthday's tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to me. How old do you think I'm going to be tomorrow, Penguin?
We're never get old. We're seasoned. We're like fine wine. We never get old. We just get more spicy.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's get to the truth, because Tom Homan is telling us this is how this started. And it comes down to 3 criminal, not ICE. I mean, of course, ICE is law enforcement. And if you just get your updates on your phone today, I don't know how your updates are set up. They have more pallets of bricks coming in and more pallets of baseball bats. Get effed. Okay, now listen to what Tom Homan says.
Now, but it wasn't covered. So in the middle of that search warrant, protesters started coming. Then they blocked the agents from leaving safely with the people we had in our custody and the evidence we had in the custody. And of course, the mayor, Bass, told, and we called for assistance because now it's becoming a public safety issue. And Mayor Bass told him to stand down. So look, after 2 days of the violence occurring in LA, President Trump, I think, made the right move. He called in the National Guard to protect government property, government officers, and public safety. And that's what he did. And I applaud him for it.
What do you think the message is of the protests?
Protest. That's your First Amendment right. Show your signs, yell and scream all you want, and give your opinion about ICE operations. But keep it peaceful. I mean,
I'm with you about that, Tom. But what do you think of their message when it is peaceful? That you guys at ICE are being asked to do too much with too many in ways that go too far.
That's so insulting. That's so insulting. Okay, so people are welcome to research it, but like you guys do realize that it used to be predominantly mostly Europeans would come here, migrate, and then they would be granted citizenship. Historically, that was correct. It has not been that way for many years. we give Mexico more work visas than any other countries. The stats are there. People are welcome to not take my word for it, but look it up. And more people from Mexico become American citizens when they come over and migrate, and yet they're still crossing over in the millions. Like, it's not enough that we give you guys the most work permits. It's not enough that you guys get the most out of all. And ironically, number 2 on that list is China. Ironically, but
Yeah, fuck China. Fuck China. I mean, I'm glad. I'm glad we're getting.
But that's the stats. It's crazy. Those are the top 2, and I just have a big issue with, we give them the most work visas, and they're bringing the fentanyl. They're bringing the fentanyl. No one talks about the fentanyl crisis anymore. How many people did that take out last year?
About it. Let's talk about my granny. She talked about when she became a U.S. citizen. Pledge allegiance to the flag. Teddy Roosevelt made it very clear. We want you here. We want you here. But you have to assimilate and, of course, keep your culture, keep your food, keep whatever you want. But you have to speak English, and you're going to salute our flag. I mean, yeah. Teddy Roosevelt said it. Okay, many other presidents, they got real lazy, I would say around the time of the Vietnam War. Okay, that's kind of when shit started going downhill. And it's kind of like putting a Band-Aid on a sucking chest wound. Now, like I said, I have several people in my family that are from other countries. Do you think I look at them different? That I go, oh, don't worry about her. That's just my Filipino daughter-in-law. Hell no. This is not an episode of Roseanne. She loves being here. She is more defensive of the country than I am. My friend Kadar, he's from India. He is more defensive of the country than I am. Because they fought tooth and nail to be here legally.
Well, it also shows a sense of entitlement. Like, they're too good to do it with the process. Like, that's too good. That's insane to me. Because you do get a lot of people that do wait. Like, I'm not against people migrating here if they want to work here legally. I'm all for that. But I think that there's a disconnect. People were freaking out when he brought over South Africans that were fleeing, but they have no problem with like 2 million that crossed over illegally. So are we for it or against it? Like, people can't make up their mind.
Well, it's so crazy to me. I don't get it. It's like, I ask these questions and I'm having a serious conversation. Why would you support what's going on? Why would you support our police, our military, our store owners, companies, whatever? I mean, look at these mom and pop shops that they're throwing bricks through. Why is that okay?
And those shops will never come back. It will never be the same. You can look at any major city that had big riots. Take a look at Baltimore. Those mom and pop shops are done forever. A lot of them don't have that kind of insurance. They are done. That is their livelihood that has just been destroyed. Those will never come back.
Well, the difference is, don't mean to interrupt you. The difference is the difference is Baltimore is not having the Olympics next year. Los Angeles is. What they need is the federal piggy bank opened up for them. They want as much shit to go on to have it rebuilt by the federal government.
I can completely believe that.
Yeah,
our government's not. It's not your friend. Let's put it that way.
Nope.
I don't think we're going too far. I think the men and women at ICE are acting very professionally, and they're out there enforcing laws enacted by Congress. If you don't like what ICE does, I tell these people all the time, if they don't like what ICE does, then protest Congress. because ICE is simply enforcing laws enacted by Congress. When they go arrest an illegal alien, they're arresting an illegal alien who has a final order issued by a federal judge. And we're executing his orders. That is their job. So go protest Congress, go protest the immigration courts if you want. But ICE is funded to enforce immigration law. That's what Congress funds us to do. That's the oath these men and women take. And I want to remind everybody, the ICE officers, they're not terrorists. They're not racist like I see the signs in this protest. They're mothers and fathers too. They have children. They don't hang their hearts on the hook at home every time they come to work. They see a lot of terrible things. Immigration enforcement has always been controversial. I've been doing it since 1984.
Okay. I don't know who caught that or not. He's been doing this from 1984, which is why he's our border czar. And like he said, why aren't you protesting Congress? They're the lawmakers. ICE doesn't make their own laws. And look at all the other agencies that are involved. FBI, Homeland Security, my goodness. And they keep wanting to blame Orange Man. Orange Man just gave the okay and signed off and said, yeah, go ahead. Pete Hegseth got a hold of him, our Secretary of Defense, at 3:23 a.m. Washington, D.C. time, saying they're going to start killing police in L.A.
And the military can use deadly force to defend themselves. So they're setting these people up for absolute failure. And I'm pretty selfish. I want my taxpayer dollars to be spent on me. How are you going to have illegal migrants in hotel rooms, but have homeless people all over Los Angeles? And then for them to get all upset when, bring us, like New York is a perfect example, because some of them came to my state. People were all kind of upset about it, but Texas and Arizona and like certain states take the brunt of it, especially Florida and Texas. I wasn't at all upset when they bust them up, said, okay, you want to criticize us? It's your problem now. But I'm selfish. I want that money to be spent on me. I don't want it going to foreign aid. I don't want it going to them. That's our money. That's our taxpayer money. That when we got homeless people in the streets, there should be nobody being paid to be in a hotel, in my opinion.
No, pay for your own fucking hotel. You already got a ton of money to come over here. Rebecca said thank you, because the highest tax state in our country is California. Well, I would say Hawaii is pretty expensive too, but I mean, they eat a lot of spam. It's absolutely crazy. And I just cannot believe the people that are saying they need to stand down. They are standing down. They're just standing there to help the police.
It's always been emotional. I get it. But we got a job to do, and we're going to do it. And we're going to do it every day in Los Angeles and every day across this country.
Is this situation going to change anything with ICE? Any kind of reconsideration, any kind of slowdown until this clears?
No. We got over 100 teams out there today. We have over 100 teams tomorrow. We're going to do this every day across this nation. We got a job to do, and we're going to do it. You can protest, but I'm asking, look, I go to bed every night. And this is the honest truth. I pray for the safety of the men and women of ICE and the other agencies who are helping us. I also pray for the safety of the protesters. Protest, that's your amendment right. Call your congressman, call your senator, raise hell. But do not put hands on an ICE officer. Do not throw Molotov cocktails like they've done. Don't burn vehicles and buildings that you paid for.
Burning down buildings, burning people's cars, throwing out these Molotov cocktails. Crimson Clover said there's no hatred quite like the Christian love. Well, who's Christian here? I mean, you come up. Are you telling me that the protesters are Christian?
Yeah, I was really confused by that. And if you notice, a lot of migrants that are from the Middle East, where do they always flee? They go to Christian lands. They're not going to Saudi Arabia. They don't take any. What are you talking about?
They kill them there. How about this, Crimson Clover? You, me, and Penguin go down to Monterrey, Mexico, and we will just cause all kinds of bullshit. Okay, we will fly the American flag, and we'll say fuck Mexico. They'd shoot us.
No one also talks about what Mexico does to Venezuelans that cross over on their border. What, you guys think that they're letting them in? No, they're not doing that. That's crazy to me. I just think that a lot of different places will flee to Christian nations, and like it or not, folks, the United States is still considered a Christian nation. You might not feel it anymore because of the way it's going, but it is. And we are very tolerant of all kinds of different people that come over. Same with the UK, when they took in all the migrants from Syria, when all of that was going on. They don't flee to other Arab nations. They go to Christian nations. So I would say that Christian nations tend to be more tolerant. Maybe that wasn't the way always historically, but it's definitely the way it is now.
Yeah, exactly. And let me tell you what, if I didn't have even a can of corn in my cabinet, guess what? I know where I can get food for free.
When you also take in a group of people, you have to, there's the old saying, I invite you into this land. I did not invite you to possess it. Meaning that if you're coming over wanting Sharia law to be imposed in the United States, no, that's not how that's gonna go. I find it crazy that people get really, really upset with the whole Palestine and Israel conflict, and they're saying, well, how dare the United States not take in Palestinian refugees? You can't take in a group of people that want to destroy your way of life. If they want to destroy values of the West, it will not work. That just breeds chaos. That doesn't work.
It's already chaotic enough, and the Orange Man administration's trying to get it under control, considering what has happened over the last few years. And my thing is to, I guess like Crimson Clover, okay? Crimson Clover. If you're so concerned, unlock your door, open it up, and say, come on in, and you can live here. I'm yet to see one person invite a violent criminal into their house. Instead, what they do is they compare apples and oranges and go, you people would have called ice on Anne Frank. Apples and oranges. Apples and oranges.
The taxpayers paid for all this stuff. Don't destroy what the taxpayers paid for. You can protest the right way. And look, there's a method to get your message out. Just do it legally.
You don't like the phrase immigration raids. And I was thinking about what this means and why you don't like it. And I get why you don't like it, because it's not about immigrants. It's about people who are here illegally, and you see a distinction. But what does it mean to you that that distinction has been lost? That people believe that it is just a demonizing of the other, of people who somehow don't belong here the way certain people want to define it?
Well, I don't like the term raid, because when we go out, there's a targeted enforcement operation. We know who we're looking for, and we have fugitive operations operational sheets at every arrest. You say, here's I'm going to go arrest, here's where I think I'm going to find him, here's his immigration history, here's his criminal history. We're not going on the streets looking for people different than us. We're targeted enforcement operations. I don't like the word raid. And look, this is a country rich in immigrants. Immigrants built this country. We're looking for people that enter this country legally, which is a crime. They've had the due process. We got 1.4 million illegal aliens in this country who had due process at great taxpayer expense. They didn't order removed. So a judge issued an order. They must leave this country. And unless we do that, then we send a message to the whole world. Keep coming. Keep putting yourselves in harm's way. Keep the sex trafficking going. Keep the drug trafficking going, because you're overwhelming the Border Patrol. There has to be consequences for, violating our laws. But again.
So that's the question. What do these people want? Okay. Crimson Clover said, did the white man adapt to Native American way of life, or did they practice their religion on their land? Well, I can't dig people up and ask them. I don't have any smelling salts to ask them. So you are making a futile argument. Okay.
It's also not related to to today's immigration argument. That's so it's like disconnect there. But
No,
I do agree that ICE needs to do, besides the fact that we need to deport them, a big thing that they need to do is prosecute people that are helping harbor them, like AOC, Newsom. They need to be prosecuted, because until you start prosecuting the people that are helping harbor them and send out this wackadoo message that this is okay, it's not breaking the law, that you're setting people up for failure. You're going to have young kids in the street that are going to protest because they got their emotions are in it. And if they're throwing rocks and stuff at the military can use deadly force. Those people are the ones that need to be prosecuted, the ones that are helping harbor and sending the message that it's not a crime. Like, I just watched The View where they said, it's not a crime, it's civil. No, it's not. It's a misdemeanor. You cannot do it.
Okay, well, let's look at what's civil. And like Tom Homan said, what do these people want? Crimson Clover, where do you live? I don't want your address, okay? I don't want your full name. I want to know what state you live in. Because you are more than welcome to give your property to any random person that you believe to be native to this country, which you're not going to find one. Too bad, not going to happen. And we can't go back to the 1700s, the 1800s. It's not going to happen. That's already been taken care of through reparations. Okay? You want to know about it? Come to Oklahoma. Come to Oklahoma. You see, as progression goes on, we understand that maybe other generations didn't do it the right way. But my question is the question of today. All right? I'm not fucking with what Crimson and Clover has to say.
Until you donate your house to a reservation for Indians, you're no better. Like, I get so sick of seeing young people that are privileged. Oh my God, the land was stolen. Then give up your spot at your college. Do it. They never do. It's because it's a place of privilege that all comes out to. Donate your house, donate your money to a reservation.
Yeah, go ahead. It's already been done. It's already been done by the government. Nothing I can do. So Crimson just wants to cause some problems. Let that person just peter out. Just don't even pay attention. Don't block the person. Don't block Jeremiah. Just keep going. This has been going on since the Vietnam age. Okay, I've always blamed Lyndon Johnson, but I want to go back to the topic at hand. Like Tom Homan said, what do they want? Do they want the city burnt down? Do they want police killed? Do they want children killed? Do they want us to keep these sex offenders on the street? Like, we're doing our job. Now let's look at this again and tell me, does this look peaceful to you? And then we're going to get to our main man of the day, who is Pete Hegseth, who is actually heading all this. And remember, if you want to be upset about what's going on, be upset with the rioters. And from there, you can be upset with Congress because they're the lawmakers.
No Trump, no ICE, no fascist USA. No Trump, no ICE, no fascist USA. No Trump, no ICE, no fascist USA.
Between George Soros and BlackRock, all of this has been set up. Okay? Because let's face it, everyone's going to have a job. They get bussed in from somewhere. Okay? And they know there's not enough room in county to arrest them all and catch them all. They are outnumbered. They are outnumbered. And when I saw what Walmart was into, you will never catch me at a Walmart ever again. Ever, ever, ever. Sam Walton is rolling in his grave.
I just love the changing of the terms that we're now seeing. Like, they're not illegal, they're undocumented residents. It's not a drug dealer, it's an unlicensed pharmacist. They're not looters, they're undocumented shoppers. Like, we're just seeing all these changes in terms now, which is wild to me. And I thought destroying a government building was an insurrection, like January, like in January.
No, like January 6th. I thought it was too.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's this? And how is it not an act of terrorism when you're destroying a federal building, waving another country's flag?
Mm-hmm.
How is that not domestic terrorism there?
Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Throwing things at the police. Hey, what's old fat white girl doing there? Come on, what is she doing? She has no part of this.
They're not rioters, guys. They're just expressing themselves.
Look how they're treating the police, though. Okay, so let's get to what Pete Hegseth said, where, he had to answer for what they're doing. I still don't understand what people want. I don't know. Rebecca lives in California. JPL lives in California. They want it to stop. They want it to stop. Magenta lives in California. She's afraid to come out of her house. I would shit bricks if this was happening in my town. I would be furious if there weren't people here to help stop all of this. I would be furious.
It's really bad when people in Baltimore don't want to move to California because they consider it the hood. Just saying.
Look at these poor store owners. And they brought in more pallets of bricks to throw through their windows. Look how much liquor and cigarettes were stolen yesterday. Just yesterday, my friend. Just yesterday. And they're planning to have major uprisings, whoever they is, this Saturday, which is Flag Day. Now, imagine that. Okay, so major cities, they're planning to hit them. Our governor already said that our state troopers are ready. I've seen a lot of fat and lazy ass state troopers around here. The thing is about Oklahoma, these people here are way too lazy. They're way too lazy. Okay, they really are. But our National Guard will take care of it because we don't have enough police to take care of this. There's no way.
Well, no one wants to be a police officer anymore, and you can see why. They're afraid. Like, we have a crisis where we don't have enough police officers in Baltimore, so then they're getting them from other counties. So we're short. And then cool thing that they did was they dramatically raised the pay for police officers in my area, but nobody wants to do it. No one.
Yeah, Rebecca, I'm so glad you brought that up. Hold on. Rebecca said when they took the bricks away, they hammered concrete chunks to throw. That is insane. Okay, so this is what Pete said yesterday about what's going on. Remember, it's not just Orange Man. We have a Secretary of Defense. We have a Congress. We have a border czar. We have a lot of stuff going on. Some people, they look through almost like a Coke bottle glass and they think everything is the president. They don't understand our checks and balances. And when Pete said, no, we're doing this.
Ask you some budget questions about the following, the cost of the, but then something else happened this weekend and it needs to be addressed. And that is the president's premature and escalatory decision to deploy not only the National Guard troops to Los Angeles, but active duty Marines as well. History has proven that law enforcement and the National Guard are more than capable of handling situations more volatile than what happened this weekend. We all see the continuous loops on TV, but this looks nothing like the George Floyd protests or the Rodney King riots in Los Angeles in 1992. Mr. Secretary, this is a deeply unfair position to put our Marines in. Their service should be honored. It should not be exploited. The president has issued an executive order and talked about deploying troops across the country.
Well, Congresswoman, thank you for the question. You are right. We are both originally from Minnesota, which is why I recall 2020 quite well, when Governor Walz abandoned a police precinct and allowed it to be burned to the ground, and also allowed 5 days of chaos to occur inside the streets of Minneapolis. The police precinct, ma'am, was abandoned and burned to the ground. And because of that, the National Guard was eventually far too late mobilized. And President Trump recognizes a situation like that, improperly handled by a governor, like it was by Governor Walz, if it gets out of control, is a bad situation for the citizens of any location.
Is there something wrong with protecting citizens?
It's almost like they want the rioters to burn the businesses to rebuild them, and they don't want the Marines to come in to shut it down. And I also think they're afraid because, again, you've built these young college people up to think that this is normal, that you can behave this way, and it is not. People can look it up. The military has absolute right to use deadly force if necessary, if you pose a threat.
Kadar, I just put the link down, Kadar. I'll put it up again. Grab that and come up. You don't have to be on camera.
Yeah, I actually have to hop down and feed the baby, but I'll be listening. But it's been railed.
No, you can hang around. You can hang around. Kadar, grab it. You can grab it. Come on.
Yeah, but I gotta feed him. But I'm still gonna be listening in. But you guys take care. But yeah, you're owning it. This is all very interesting what's going around. Just I wouldn't listen to the media. Media lies.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, take care.
Let's have a big round of applause for our old friend that just came back, Penguin. I absolutely love her. Okay. Haven't seen her in years. You know, she had a really difficult pregnancy, and she's just an amazing person. And I love people that aren't scared to tell the truth. And Jeremiah, I agree with you. Look at all of the stations that BlackRock owns. Look at it.
And also allowed 5 days of chaos to occur inside the streets of Minneapolis. The police precinct, ma'am, was abandoned and burned to the ground. And because of that, the National Guard was eventually far too late mobilized. And President Trump recognizes a situation like that, improperly handled by a governor, like it was by Governor Walz, if it gets out of control, is a bad situation for the citizens of any location. So in Los Angeles, we believe that ICE, which is a federal law enforcement agency, has the right to safely conduct operations in any state and any jurisdiction in the country. especially after 21 million illegals have crossed our border under the previous administration. ICE ought to be able to do its job, whether it's Minneapolis or
Chairman,
Los
I have
Angeles.
limited time. I asked a budget
And they are
question.
being-
Could the secretary please address the budget? Thank you.
You asked about the situation in Los Angeles, and we believe
Asked about
ICE
the budget.
agents should be allowed to be
asked about the
safe in
budget,
doing
sir.
their operations, and we have deployed National Guard and the Marines to protect them in the execution of their duties, because we ought to be able to enforce immigration law in this country, unlike what Governor Walz did in 2020. There are 17,000 LAPD, you mentioned that. There would be 18,000 if not for the defund movement that folks like Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass have
Chairman,
implemented.
If
The police chief said
Mr.
she was
Chairman, if
overwhelmed,
the secretary is not
so we
going to
helped.
ask the budgetary questions, I will yield back my time if the secretary refuses to answer the budgetary questions I put before him. They're important. What training missions aren't happening? Where are you pulling the money from? And how are you planning this in the moving forward?
So we have the funding to cover down on contingencies, especially ones as important as maintaining law and order in a major American city. As far as training, all of the units on the ground have been fully trained in their capabilities of what they're executing
Chairman
on the
asks
ground.
for budgetary if he needs to get back to the committee with the numbers.
Welcome back in here to Live Now.
I think he answered everything. I think he answered it all. We already heard Tom Homan speak and say this is what happened. We had 3 criminal warrants. This company was funding a cartel. We arrested 41 people. Some were sex traffickers. Some were flat out sex deviants. People were pretending to make t-shirts for pennies on the dollar. Okay? Let's get back to what's going on. Quinn said the government ignores protests. No shit, they do. We know what they pay attention to. We know what they pay attention to. Just like these little silly petitions that go out. And they're like, we need 1,000 more on the ballot to get the FBI to oversee Sebastian's case. No, the FBI is not going to look at your internet. No, they're not. They're not going to look at your internet change.org. They're not going to do it. The FBI is not going to look at your internet Excuse me, I have to sneeze. Hold on. I'm trying to hold it. Trying to hold it. They're not going to look at your change.org. They're not going to do it. And what's going to happen is the people in California are going to get taxed even higher now, since it is on record that the mayor of Los Angeles and the governor wants us to go on. People are getting hurt, and I don't understand it. I really don't.
No Trump, no ICE, no fascist USA. No Trump, no ICE, no fascist USA. No Trump, no ICE, no fascist USA.
Okay, so the mayor keeps talking about their economy, their economy, their economy, their economy, their economy, their economy. How good is your economy going to be when you had to shut down exits to get on a major freeway for people to get to work? Is it worth it when you know that Congress is backing up what needs to be done? You know, I'm getting really tired of these goddamn bankrupt states causing havoc for the rest of us to pay for. All right, like her or hate her, I don't care if you like the host. I want you all to see when they show up and they give people things to, in quotes, peacefully protest.
Insurrectionists. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Well, after another night of unrest and all-out mayhem in downtown LA, Governor Gavin Newsom is finally taking action. He's finally putting his foot down. He's had enough. But if you think he was, warning the rioters to stand down, don't go into the freeway, don't block it up, you'd be wrong, because Newsom's warning the president to stand down. Yeah, the destruction of his city notwithstanding, the governor filed for an emergency injunction in federal court to block the Pentagon from ordering federal and state troops to suppress the uprising in LA. Of course, he doesn't think it's an uprising.
All right, the federal judge that heard the argument yesterday said no, because you have to protect your citizens. You cannot allow this to go on. You can't allow it. You have to defend your police. You have to defend your military. You have to. Rebecca said they're paid to do this. The question is, let's go to the title of today's show. Who paid them? Who paid them? Is this another one of Soros's things? BlackRock? We already know that Soros funded BLM. I know some people have asked me over the years why I don't support BLM. I'm not Marxist. Okay? I have many black friends. Actually, one of my best friends, her name is Gina. She's from Cleveland, Ohio. I think she's in Canton right now. But I don't support BLM. She's my friend, and she doesn't either. I have many white friends. It doesn't mean I support the KKK. Actually, OJ's wanting a BLM chapter in our house because he thinks he doesn't have enough rights. But I told him that doesn't apply to him because he's a cat.
California's court petition was filed oddly in San Francisco and claimed that Trump is the real problem. Federal antagonization through the presence of soldiers in the streets has already caused real and irreparable damage to the city of Los Angeles, the people who live there, and the state of California. Irreparable damage caused by the presence of the Marines and the National Guard? Oh. Did their presence compel last night's looting of local businesses or the blockade of the 101 today? Do they really?
Look at that. They broke in to the friggin' pharmacy and started looting pain pills. What does that have to do with anything? Okay? What does that? Get your poster boards. Do whatever you want to do. Stand outside. Get yourself some attention. This is crazy.
I think Americans are that stupid that they're going to believe that the National Guard is causing such pain that they forced thugs and mob-like figures on the streets to throw pieces of concrete and start fires, trying to brush off the blame that they obviously deserve for their sanctuary policies. Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass claim to have a simple solution. Just stop enforcing immigration law.
The real solution of all of this is for the administration to stop the raids. We have heard that these raids might take place for the next 30 days. We don't know how many are going to take place in a given day. And you just think about the disruption to families and the disruption to our local economy.
Oh, yeah, right. It's wonderful for the local economy to have thousands of people swarm a federal ICE operation, wildly smash car windows, whip rocks at passing vehicles, spray paint profanity everywhere, and, yeah, wreck mom and pop stores.
Hey, get the out!
And by the way, they lost in federal court today. Federal Judge Breyer said, no, we're not intervening, not giving an emergency injunction, an emergency stay to make Gavin Newsom feel better. So they lost in court. But the sad fact is Newsom, Bass, and most Democrats, they're never really going to condemn these rioters, not really, because the rioters are their constituents. The anarchists are their constituents. The socialists are their constituents. The open borders Marxists are their constituents. And yes, the criminal illegals, they're their constituents. They hope they'll vote someday soon. And the same dynamic was in place in 2020. Black Lives Matter was just a Democrat front group. And we found out after, 90 million in donations poured in, it was as corrupt as the day is long. Speaking at Fort Bragg today, Trump was unfazed by the Newsom resistance and vowed to never let the thugs destroy federal property.
Generations of Army heroes did not shed their blood on distant shores only to watch our country be destroyed by invasion and third world lawlessness here at home, like is happening in California. As Commander-in-Chief, I will not let that happen. It's never going to happen.
Listen to that response. Yeah, that's America.
They're the heroes. They're fighting for us. They're stopping an invasion just like you'd stop an invasion. The big difference is most of the time when you stop an invasion, they're wearing a uniform. In many ways, it's tougher when they're not wearing a uniform because you don't know exactly who they are.
And now Democrats are pretending to be outraged about the prospect of Trump invoking the Insurrection Act, which, of course, is his right. I'd say it's his obligation to do if, and it's his call, if he feels the United States is being threatened from within by violent seditionary forces.
We had some bad people. We have people, they look in your face and they spit right in your face. They're animals. And these are paid insurrectionists. These are paid troublemakers.
They are paid. Let's go back to what's going around. Look at your local Craigslist. Looking for the toughest badasses in the city. This is for Los Angeles. You get paid. You get paid. But if you're former military or former police, you get paid more. Now, come on. Who needs, what I want to know is what's everyone been doing all week? This is Wednesday in Los Angeles. This is what I want to say to them. You want to hear what I have to say? Boy, Mama said if Trump wasn't sending the National Guard and Marines, people would be blaming him for another insurrection. That's what I don't get. Could you imagine if this was happening in your community? Would you not be pissed if someone didn't step in? Would you want your business burnt down? Raise your hand if you would want your house burnt down, your business, your church, your children's school. You want a brick thrown through your window? Is that what you want? This is what I have to say.
No, not you. Not you. Your organization's terrible. Your organization's terrible. Let's go. Go ahead. Quiet. Quiet. Go ahead. She's asking a question. Don't be rude. Don't be rude. Don't be rude. No, I'm not going to give you a question. I'm not going to give you a question. You are fake news.
Look at Rebecca. She lives right there. She said, I'm not interested in concrete blocks hitting my head. She's scared to leave her house. JPL and her husband said, no way. No way we're going to do this.
They're agitators.
Of course, Democrats dined out on the word insurrection for 4 years, referring to another riot on January 6th. They demanded National Guard troops to protect them. And when they're challenged on their hypocrisy, man, they go nuts.
That is a big question. Since Biden was the president, Trump was given a speech when the insurrectionists somehow made their way into the Capitol. How the hell did that happen? And I need open minds here. I need open minds. Is that not one of the most guarded buildings in America? Again, deep breath and open minds. You're telling me all of those offices were open to where people could go through their drawers and look at their papers and take shits on their desk? It would be harder to break into my house. Just think about it. Don't attack me. Just think about it.
We don't have the National Guard that didn't come in on time on January 6th, or you do have the National Guard where there was violence. We did see it on our TV screens. What do you want?
So, wait a second. So on January 6th, I was here. There was 50,000 people outside. They were scaling the wall. The police were run over. How many police officers have died in LA? 0. How many people died on January 6th? 5. When people say that Democrats are being not consistent, is completely wrong.
First of all, he lied. The only person killed on January 6th was an unarmed woman named Ashley Babbitt. She was shot dead by a Capitol Hill police officer. Michael Bird. Now, as we mentioned, there was one scene in particular that grabbed our attention last night and sure made the so-called protest look professionally supported. These kind of high-grade, riot gear type.
Me too. Let me go back to that. I got to see old boy in the white glasses again. Look at that. Look at that shit. Woo! Woo! Look at that. Get down with your bad self. So when people say, well, why were they pardoned? Because they were given unfair sentences. There's a million reasons. And no, they shouldn't have been on Capitol Hill. They should have minded their own business. But you're telling me that the Capitol was just open? You're telling me Mitch McConnell's office was just open that day? Nancy Pelosi was just open that day? She's a super freak, she's super freaky. I gotta listen to that song now. Give me a second. I'm sorry, I hate when I go off topic, but this is the best. This chick is awesome. Woo! 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 I'm telling you. I know I'll get hit, but my God, this is awesome. I want those glasses. My birthday's tomorrow.
She's a very kinky girl, the kind you don't take home to mother. She will never let your spirits down once you get her off the street. Oh, girl. She likes the boys in the band. She says that I'm her all-time favorite. Woo! When I make my move to her room, it's the right time. She's never hard to please. Oh, no. That girl is pretty wild now. Girls are super freak. The kind of girl you read about. That girl is pretty kinky. Girls are super freak. I really love to chase her. Every time we meet, she's alright. She's alright. That girl's alright with me.
I don't need this.
Yeah. Hey, 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 hey. She's a super freak. Super freak. She's super freaking now. Everybody sing. Super freak. Super freak. She's a very special girl. From her head down to her toenails. And she'll wait for me backstage with her girlfriends in a limousine. Three's not a crowd to her, she says. Room 714, I'll be waiting. When I get there, she's got incense, wine, and candles. It's such a freaky scene. That girl is pretty kinky. Girls are super freak. The kind of girl you read about. That girl is pretty wild now. Girls are super freak. I really like to taste her. Every time we meet, she's alright. She's alright. That girl's alright with me. Yeah. Hey, 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 hey. She's a super freak. Super freak. She's super freaking yeah. Temptation.
Whew. That got me all wet in the vag thinking of my husband coming home. All right, back to the topic at hand. I need those glasses. Could you imagine DT Driver looking up at him with those glasses on? Damn.
So on January 6th, I was here. There was 50,000 people outside. They were scaling the wall. The police.
Liar. I watched the whole thing live.
Were run over. How many police officers have died in LA? 0. How many people died on January 6th? 5. When people say
liar
that Democrats are being not consistent is completely wrong.
First of all, he lied. The only person killed on January 6th was an unarmed woman named Ashley Babbitt. She was shot dead by a Capitol Hill police officer, Michael Byrd. Now, as we mentioned, there was one scene in particular that grabbed our attention last night and sure made the so-called protest look professionally.
Okay. I know a lot of people are just listening and chatting, but please look at all the different trucks that showed up to hand out riot gear. Not for the police. No, 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 my friend. No, 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 my super freaks. No. It was for more chaos.
Support it. These kind of high-grade, riot gear type face shields were distributed by a mystery person. Fox 11 witnessed these individuals handing out tactical gear to the protesters. No arrests, though, were made, despite ongoing acts of vandalism and street interference. So why is this criminality continuing? Because, as I said before, at least as of now, there doesn't seem to be any accountability.
And they're all gathered around getting their boxes to cause more havoc. Rebecca said this is all organized and paid for. Well, they will fail. They will fail. Remember the Bugs Bunny cartoon where they cut California off of America and let it float out into the ocean? Some people find it funny, but it can't happen. Something has got to happen there. Someone smart has got to step in. Because when Arnold Schwarzenegger was their governor, he would shut shit down real quick. Pete Brown, he would shut their shit down real quick. Ronald Reagan was their governor. He would shut shit down real quick. I think we're going to have a new tier for members. Super freaks. Well, that cracked me up when Rianne said that. Look at Super Freak back there. All right, let's get back to the topic at hand. Look at them handing out supplies.
Riot gear type face shields were distributed by a mystery person. Fox 11 witnessed these individuals handing out tactical gear to the protesters. No arrests, though, were made, despite ongoing acts of vandalism and street interference. So why is this criminality continuing? Because, as I said before, at least as of now, there doesn't seem to be any accountability.
Demonstrators are throwing rocks and bottles right now at police as police are now pushing the line forward, trying to get people to disperse.
We've heard so much from people about the idea of law enforcement taking people into custody who may be in the country illegally. Are we seeing any indication of law enforcement taking these folks into custody who are clearly committing crimes right live on TV that everybody can see?
Police are firing back with their rubber bullets. But it's really not stopping it.
But Democrats, again, they don't care. They don't care about those scenes. They don't care about destruction. They don't care about the storefronts being just, looted. They don't care. They're playing politics and they're covering for their constituents.
Donald Trump wants conflict and violence. House Democrats stand on the side of peaceful protests and condemn the violence that Donald Trump is rooting for.
It's absurd. It's so desperate. Now, Democrats, in watching this play out, they may not recover from this for a decade. I know that sounds like wishful thinking. I don't want anything to happen to any of our great cities. But they are playing with fire here. They need to rip out the vile anti-American element from their party and start over. because the protesters, I hate even calling them protesters. They're not really protesters. These are criminals. They're dressed in all black. They're marauding through the streets, taunting law enforcement. They've been programmed to believe that this country is illegitimate.
This is our city, and this was Mexico. You can't kick us out of the land that was ours.
Indigenous land. This was Mexico. This is our turf.
Who said? It's their turf? What? Jeez, lady. If it's your turf, get a job and go to work, dude. Why are you tearing down your own turf? You seriously want it to look like Mexico?
Free them all!
This is what they believe, that we're living on stolen land. And for that reason, immigration laws should really not even apply to this part of the country at all. So the message they're sending America is clear. They don't recognize this government as legitimate, and they certainly don't recognize Trump as a legitimate president. So these riots have zero to do with immigration or deportations. The illegals are pawns. The bottom line, these thugs, if they don't get the government they want, the policies they want, they'll burn it all down. Yet what they apparently don't realize that the longer this continues, downtowns and storefronts won't be the only thing left in ruins. The Democrat Party will be a smoldering ash heap as well. And that's the angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe.
Screw Sean Hannity. He drives me nuts. I hate when he just talks down to people. All right, let's get back to what they're doing now. That's a really good point, CJK. Why would another country not look for their own citizen? Why would they not? It's getting worse and worse today. Let's look at what a local sheriff said. Rebecca's going to love this because I think it's her town, to be quite honest. I want to hear from the people that have facts.
Chad Bianco joins us now. Sheriff, the National Guard and the Marines are in Los Angeles because the governor and the mayor would not protect federal law enforcement on the ground performing their duties. That is why they are there. The LAPD was slow to act not because of their decision making, but because it is a sanctuary city. Who is Gavin Newsom governing for? Himself?
Well, that's all Gavin Newsom does is something for himself. It certainly isn't for Californians. So that's what we're seeing right now. And the reality is decades of Gavin Newsom policies have enabled this type of behavior, this riotous behavior that we are seeing now. And several days ago, when all of this was happening, when the chief of police from the second largest police department in the country, combined with the sheriff of the largest sheriff's office in the country, were overrun by the protests. They were overwhelmed and had to call in reinforcements from the surrounding counties, which included my county. And that is when the president sent the National Guard in. And you would believe, if you listened to our governor, you would think that all of this stuff happened after that. The reality is you can't change timelines. We know when all of these things happened, and this is nothing but a paid political movement by the far left Democrat Party that Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass are a part of, and their inability to stop this in the first 1 or 2 days is the reason why we're here today.
Sheriff, I would say it's not just the politicians out there who are giving this bizarre characterization of events. There's a story in the Washington Post today that basically suggests that nearly all
Dirty Dog said, Brooks, so disappointing. Take care of the weakest among us. Exactly. I agree. Always take care of the children. Always, always take care of the children. I am huge about taking care of children, of course, animals, and elderly people. But no, adults that want to act a fool, you answer for yourself.
All of LA County is sort of united in thinking Donald Trump is the cause of this problem. You're right southeast of there in Riverside. I'm guessing you know a few residents of LA County who are holding responsible the people setting fires and throwing rocks.
Well, I'm telling you this right now, the entire state of California is watching this and seeing how absolutely ridiculous it is that we allow criminals to destroy our streets, to attack our law enforcement, to burn our cars, to attack our buildings, loot our buildings. And why is it allowed to happen?
What do you mean, shame on you all? Do you want to be somebody driving down the road that has a cement block thrown through your windshield? Is that what you want, Dirty Dog? I understand that you're getting the attention, and I hope you have the day that you deserve. But we're not going to deal with this. This is crazy. We got a new sheriff in town, and I understand that he is not liked by certain people. I understand that the administration is not adored. I get it. But overwhelmingly elected. Shame on you, Dirty Dog, that you really want these children trafficked. Shame on you that you wanted that money from that company funneled to a cartel. Shame on you that you want those police officers mowed down. Shame on you. And shame on me that I misunderstood your comment.
Throwing rocks.
Well, I'm telling you this right now, the entire state of California is watching this and seeing how absolutely ridiculous it is that we allow criminals to destroy our streets, to attack our law enforcement, to burn our cars, to attack our buildings, loot our buildings. And why is it allowed to happen? And they are seeing our politicians absolutely lie to us while we're watching things happen on TV, and they're telling us something like their own different version of reality. The entire state of California.
This is something I didn't touch on. There's my husband. Shame on the supporters of illegal immigration that are okay with people brought into this country. Because we got some nasty people here, okay? We got some sick tickets that are allowing people to be put into slavery. Think about that. That company that they served the 3 warrants to, they were making half-ass t-shirts for pennies on the dollar. And don't get me wrong, we have our own homegrown sickos. Why pile it on? So when people scream and they say, they're humans too. Fucking exactly. Exactly. Now, guess what? When they arrested 41 people at that company before the riot started, they are 41 bad people. The rest have been put into hotels to get them jobs and get their citizenship status so they can actually learn and make a decent wage. When I hear people saying, who's going to pick our carrots? Who the fuck are you? Go pick your own carrots. How about try this? Take all the people that have not a goddamn thing wrong with them, that sit around on their fat ass having kids to get food stamps and whatever else and won't lift a finger. Have them go pick them. Have them do it. Try that. Anyone that supports this has got a screw loose. So don't come at me and say they're humans too.
Attack our law enforcement, to burn our cars, to attack our buildings, loot our buildings. And why is it allowed to happen? And they are seeing our politicians absolutely lie to us while we're watching things happen on TV, and they're telling us something like their own different version of reality. The entire state of California, our residents are absolutely sick of this, and we want it to end. We want our politicians to stop lying to us, get out of the way of law enforcement, let us fix what they have broken.
Instead of standing up for law and order for every legal resident, Sheriff, Bass and Newsom and their cohort stand up for lawlessness and disorder and try to gain from it politically. Sheriff Chad Bianco, be safe. Blessings to you and everyone in uniform. Thank you, sir.
And he volunteered himself. He's a sheriff in the next town. All right, I've gotten myself into enough trouble today, so I'm going to get myself into some more. Everybody ready for that? Put a 1 in chat if you want to see Brooks get put in more trouble. Or 2, Brooks needs to leave it alone. Because I don't talk about politics. I can talk about politics anytime. But we're talking about crime. Pat wants to be in more trouble. Okay, Pat makes the decision.
When I die and I'm able to rest, gonna go to the place that's the best. When I lay me down to die, going up to the spirit in the sky. Going up to the spirit in the sky. That's where I'm gonna go when I die. When I die and I'm able to rest, I'm gonna go to the place that's the best. Prepare yourself, you know it's a must. You're gonna have a friend in Jesus. So you know that when you die, it's gonna recommend you to the spirit in the sky. Recommend you to the spirit in the sky. That's where you're gonna go when you die. When you die and you lay it to rest, you're gonna go to the place that's the best. been a sinner. I never sinned. I got a friend in Jesus. So you know that when I die, it's gonna set me up, the spirit in the sky. Oh, set me up, the spirit in the sky. That's where I'm gonna go when I die. When I die and you lay me to rest, I'm gonna go to the place that's the best. Go to the place that's the best.
Yep, let that flag fly and get those people. Just stop them. Stop them, stop them. Sadly, a lot of them are paid from here. Birthday girl, every day, Kimberly Manning goes, LOL. You voted for Gore? I'm like, yeah, I did. I was a big Clinton fan. Big Clinton fan. I liked how things were going, so I voted for Gore. And I was working with Kadar. Kadar, remember when Dean Uncle and Sadir were giving me hell about voting for Gore instead of George Bush? Well, look who was right. Me. So it has nothing to do with party politics. It has to do with how you love your country. That's it. Actually, it starts with God, your family, country, however you want to sort it out. Brooke said, me too, because I'm from Arkansas. I mean, seriously. Remember that, Kadar, when they were giving me hell? Kadar, you want to grab the link? And they're like, no, you have to vote for George Bush. You have to vote for George Bush. I'm like, his father failed us in the Persian Gulf. You think I'm going to vote for his son, who hasn't done anything except for buy a fucking baseball team? Fuck that. No, I'm voting for Gore. And we saw what happened in Florida with the chat piles and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay. And then we get to 2015 when Jeb Bush is running against Trump. And he goes, that was your brother. Under his regime, 9/11 happened. That's right, baby. Well, Kadar, you are welcome to grab the link, but it seems like we're getting to the end of the show. Let me tell you what. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you for hanging in here today, because I know this is not something that people want to talk about. It's really hard when politics are wrapped up into crimes, because people feel like it needs to be one side or another. And I don't like one-sided conversation. I don't like echo chambers. I don't like it. I like opinions. I like conversations. So, California, prayers to you. Honestly, best of intentions for you. The propaganda's got to stop. Shit like this has definitely got to stop. And I'm so happy that goofy ass with that crazy eye, Kash Patel, love you to death too, Kadar. Kadar, get a membership. You got a ton of money. When Kash Patel said, we are going to certainly find out who is funding this. And that's what needs to happen. Let's pray for Los Angeles. Let's pray for Gavin Newsom. Let's pray for that goofy mayor of theirs that smiles all the time and wants shit to continue. And keep speaking the truth. And if someone doesn't like the truth, fuck them. That's all I got for you today. You guys are the absolute best. Love you all.